Alright, what's up yins guys? Time for another video. Another video where I talk about the Yu-Gi-Oh games people play, the real life ones, not the card game. But the card game, I think to me it's a metaphor because the review talks about playing this or that card. Whether it's in politics or whatever the hell. And then even when I saw the Yu-Gi-Oh cartoon once back in the day, it's an understatement as far as a metaphor. So anyway, on with this next one. This is a very fun card to talk about because you can turn this into more than one card. Couple cards that go hand in hand with each other. They overlap each other. They kind of... The other person will use this card, play this card, or use this weapon against you. People that fancy themselves an authority over you, maybe have some rank or authority over you in a workplace, and some of them that don't have an authority over you or anything in a workplace per se, but act like they do, maybe because they're socially or whatever this way. And it happens in your own house, like say, when you're younger or when you're in school. Either your parents do it, or you watch your parents do the shit to each other. But I want to talk about those things. I don't want to know which one I want to talk about first to make this video too long, but that's right on the agenda to talk about them. But before I make it into a real long-ass video, first I'll talk about the encounter, say like I would have, for example, you would have used an example that I ran into first, you know what I mean? For an example, any situation, you know how people will get out of answering your question to something. I call it, there's a couple different names you call it. The "you interrupted me" card, or I call it the "interrupt you" card. They go hand in hand because the stance or the move people take, you know, it's almost like it turns into not quite martial arts, not quite a verbal argument of martial arts or boxing thing right away per se. It starts out as sidestepping each other or whatever. And it's also designed, the other person will do that to trigger an argument, make the other one raise their voice, which it works with a lot of people. It worked with my mother and my stepdad. It works with couples you ran into, say, in Walmart. People in politics on TV fucking do this, you know what I mean, too. And it is done deliberately as a diversion. If you're on the end of this and they get out of answering your question and they hope to make you raise your voice. And a lot of us, when we were younger, I don't know, you still can fall for it unwittingly or whatever. But okay, anyway, like say you wait till a person's done talking, right? And they say whatever they're saying, they're condensending shit or whatever. And then they're probably done, and you go and say, well, okay, and say, by the way, when you go to say your thing, they know damn well you're gonna say your thing, and they're ready for it, and they just interrupt you while you're talking. And while doing so, accuse you of interrupting. They'll accuse you of interrupting them while they're talking. And you thought they were done, or you know damn well they were finished. And usually in a scenario too, whether you think you did or not, you say, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, or whatever. And then you go and try to state your case again after they state theirs. But they'll turn around and they'll interrupt you, right? Or and they'll make it into, when you go and state your case or whatever, it turns from you trying to state your case and answer them back. You're not allowed to answer them back. It's mind-blowing to talk about, and like I said, it's a big diversion, and it always kind of works. They get out of answering you. Yeah, they'll say something like, you know, oh, and in talking in parentheses, didn't want to bring it up yet. There is the scenarios where I'll say too, it's not like some of the things where a bunch of people you see either in a lunchroom or a workplace or somewhere, they are talking heatedly back and forth or politically talking back and forth on TV real fast, and yes, they unwittingly interrupt each other or do it on purpose, or they do it so fast that one person's trying to do that to the other. In a scenario like I've done, or say even at home, nobody's like talking, say, real fast. They were saying something slow and steady. I'm like, yeah, I hear you, I'm listening, okay. And then right after they're done, you think they're done, they accuse you of interrupting them again. Or they'll just outright interrupt you and say some other kind of a thing, and then you go say it again, accuse you of interrupting them. When, so that you'll get mad. And then, and it's like one of the things too where they either do it on purpose, or once in a while it's almost like what my mother accused my stepdad of sometimes, and he does this shit on purpose. Okay, you ever get that one relative or something like that? They do take real long pauses, and you don't know they're done. You don't know if they're going to say something else, and they're going to say something else. They take these long ass pauses, or else they're taking these long ass pauses before they're going to say something, or the body language, like they do this shit deliberately to try to fool you, even with body language too, like they're done talking. And they're taking these real long pauses, like they're going to say something else. My mother and my stepdad got into this, but they do that shit on purpose too. And the reason why they're taking them long-ass pauses, it's not an accusation, because they're looking at you with body language, waiting for you to say something and accuse you of... it's usually a thing where, always... they're telling you something. They don't want to hear nothing you have to say. You know, it's all about cutting you down and talking down to you. And yeah, you understand what they're saying. And they don't want to hear nothing you're saying. So instead of, they're too, some people, like, they're too domesticated or nonchalant, depending what rank of authority they are, or if they're in any authority, or how they dress, or act like their authority. Unlike anybody else that would almost get mad and say go to hell or fuck you, or say go to hell, I ain't answering, I don't gotta answer, or fuck you, I ain't gotta answer. Which, by the way, parents like say that swear in the household and argue with each other in the household, or if you were to question one of them, or some other people in the workplace, yeah, you get the less domesticated among each other will say go to hell, I don't gotta fucking answer to you, or fuck you, I ain't gotta answer. Like, they expect you to listen to them, and literally, it's the more domesticated, nonchalant alternative to saying fuck you or go to hell, don't gotta answer to you, fuck you. You would have to play it out like on a YouTube video or something too. And it's designed to trigger you into raising your voice, and before you know it, you and them will get into an argument about, you interrupted me. No, wait a minute, I thought you were done. You interrupted me. And turn an argument be about that. And then it'll turn in dynamic, which will be another Yu-Gi-Oh card that goes hand to hand. Don't fucking raise your voice at me. Like, this kind of shit was... Well, my mother and stepdad will get into like shit like this, and that it goes into that too in workplaces. People, two black guys, two white guys, a black guy, a white guy, somebody in authority or fancy themselves in authority. Like maybe they act like they're more intellectually, linguistically smarter than you. It's like a battle of linguistics. And some people that are more streetwise, like friends of mine, both black and white, we talked about this, that you encounter it. And yes, there is a mixture of even people streetwise that are more intellectually do a combination of this shit, and it takes on a crazy ass dynamic. It's a very difficult to talk about because it can almost make your head explode. And when people do this shit, it's designed to make your head explode. Maybe they're more skilled in it, and like I said, they'll turn an argument, make you yell first, and they want it to be an argument before you know it. The person gets out of answering something you have to say. They just don't want to fucking hear anything you have to say. You're beneath me. I just like, fuck you, you're beneath me. I don't gotta answer you. So they play all these little Yu-Gi-Oh cards or intellectual verbal martial arts like that. And it dovetails into with like the body language. And it's not like you do once in a while by accident and say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were done. You know, both people talking at the same time. It starts out as calm talking, you know what I mean? It's not like you're cutting in right there all excitedly or anything either, but when time comes and they see it with their body language coming that you're going to say something, they deliberately do this shit to you. And that's like what it turns into. You interrupted me, or and they don't want to answer it.